Hey, my friends, before I jump into the topic for today's session, which is really about giving yourself a really important permission. It's one I've been giving a lot of the people that I work with lately, and I've had to give myself as well. But before we go into what that is and why it's so important, I just invite you to stop whatever you're doing right now and just give yourself these couple of minutes to be supported, to recenter yourself in the midst of all the upheaval that is swirling in the world around us, and to do what I call anchor yourself in abundance. In the midst of so much scarcity running around, that fear of not having enough, of not being able to do enough, we get caught in it. And the whole purpose of these daily recordings is to support you to anchor yourself into something bigger than what's happening in front of us right now. Something more loving and generous and powerful and creative and resourceful and intelligent and eternal than what we're facing and experiencing in this moment in history. I call that knowing that you're part of that something bigger. I call that abundance. Because when you can really get you're part of that something bigger, that you may call universe, spirit, the divine God, then you can also know deep in your bones that you have access to all that you need in any given moment to fulfill your life's purpose. Now, you may not know how to access it, and what you need may not be what you want or think you need, but it's there for you, just like the oxygen that we're both breathing right now. So let's take a moment and remember this, that this oxygen that gives you life is available to you right now in this moment. So receive it fully. Breathe it in, let it fill you, and then exhale out, knowing that you're sending life energy out into the world. This oxygen is not something you had to make or create. It's not something you had to earn or deserve, which is really important for our topic today. It's here for you because you're here. You were created by something bigger than you that is giving you the gift of life, the resources you need for life. And right now, that includes oxygen. So let's just take a couple of breaths together. Very slow, conscious, inhaling through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth. Scanning your body and noticing if there's any place in your body where you're feeling tension or tightness or heaviness or pressure. And if you're aware of it, then take your next breath and imagine that oxygen going to that place in your body and expanding it like a balloon. And then as you exhale, imagine yourself, let your body relax just a bit more. I invite you to continue to breathe in this manner as I talk a little bit about this very important permission. You need to give yourself, I need to give myself, we all need to give ourselves. I became aware of it because I've had some conversations in the past few days, week at most. And the conversations I'm having, guilt is starting to show up in what people are thinking and feeling. And that guilt looks like one of three things. One guilt is guilty if they're upset, if they're feeling sad, if they're feeling tired, if they're feeling emotionally drained, if they're feeling worried. It's like they know that they shouldn't be, in their minds. That's what they think they shouldn't be. And what they do with that, and the reason why they feel guilty is because they'll say to me, because really I'm doing okay. I'm okay. You know, I'm not in the hospital. I'm not suffering as much as other people are. I shouldn't be feeling guilty. I'm okay. And yet they're feeling guilty. And the more they tell themselves, or you tell yourself, if you can relate to this, you shouldn't be feeling this way, the more you feel it. Okay? So if you're feeling guilty because you're better off than some people, okay. That's okay to be feeling it, but notice what's causing it is you're comparing yourself and your situation and your experience to two things: to what others are experiencing and to this illusion you have of what you think you should be experiencing. And so the permission to give yourself is, first of all, to feel whatever you're feeling, and to let yourself have your own experience navigating this upheaval in the world, your own experience, not compared to somebody else's. That would be like comparing a rose and a lily. Which one's better? They're just different and they're beautiful, both. When we get into comparison, we're really setting ourselves up. So the first permission you get to give yourself is to have your own experience through this. And if that experience is, I'm not okay right now, I'm really upset, I'm scared, I had a client who woke up this morning just feeling such heaviness in her heart and sadness and pain, then that's okay. You get to experience those things. They're part of your experience. Now, as I've said in some of my previous ones, including yesterday's, doesn't mean you have to feed it, doesn't mean you have to stay in it. It just means that in that moment, when that's what you're experiencing, you get to feel that fully. You get to be that, be whatever that is fully, just like you get to breathe in oxygen in this moment. It's really important that you support yourself where you're at, not comparing where you're at to anybody else. And this feeds into a subtler guilt a more subtle guilt that's starting to show up for people. One I've had to wrestle with. People who are okay, whose lives have not been interrupted. Financially, they're okay. Health-wise, they're okay. Their loved ones haven't been impacted yet. Like they're feeling guilty for being okay, for being able to laugh, for being able to get out in nature and go for a walk, for being able to pay their bills and buy food and all of that, for being safe. They're feeling guilty for that. Like somehow they shouldn't have it so good when so many are suffering. I see this happen for people I work with around money all the time. Those who are doing well oftentimes feel guilty because so many other people are not. That's not needed, nor does it help anyone. It's okay for you to be okay. In this moment, today, for the next hour, it's okay for you to feel joy and peace and confidence and excitement. It's okay for you to feel all of those things. And then it will be okay if an hour from now you're feeling scared and anxious and worried. It's okay. The permission you need to give yourself is to have your own experience, which includes feeling whatever you're feeling in any given moment. Because resisting it doesn't help. Nor does guilt. My friends, there is no should for the times we're in, because no one has ever been here before. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. So I give you permission, my friends, to feel whatever you're feeling, from the spectrum of like, I'm great, to I'm falling apart. Whatever it is, it's okay. And I think you'll find, as I have, that if you allow yourself to feel those feelings instead of resist them or feel guilty about them or compare yourself to somebody else, then you can also access ways to support and empower yourself with what you're feeling. There are all sorts of tools out there, one of which is my favorite, is I just go back to that breathing again. I am clear. I am so clear that so many thousands of people around the world, millions, are not able to take in a full deep breath right now because of the virus. And I can, so I will. Because me holding my breath doesn't help them breathe. So I will. I'll breathe in fully. If I'm feeling sad or lonely or angry or scared, one thing I like to do to help myself feel it but not get stuck in it, is I'll grab a piece of paper and some crayons and markers, and I'll just like let my hand color the feelings that I'm feeling, because it gets it out of me and I'm accepting myself where I'm at. If I'm feeling joy, I let myself enjoy it, because I may not be feeling it tomorrow. The permission, the guilt-free permission you need to give yourself is to have your own experience and feel whatever you're feeling in this moment. Because when you can open to let yourself feel it, just like opening to oxygen, and you really let yourself feel it, then, only then, might you be able to have it move through you. And that will open you to perhaps to a different feeling in the next moment. We all have our own unique journey, our own unique experience of what we're all going through. There's no right way or wrong way. There's no should or shouldn't. And there is definitely no comparison. Give yourself permission to have your own experience, my friend, and feel what there's there for you to feel in this moment. Open and let yourself feel it. And then perhaps in the next moment, as you let that move, as you accept it instead of resist it, as you support yourself where you're at, then you can exhale and a new experience may come in the next moment. Final thing I'm being told. And if you're okay, if you're laughing and happy and connecting, if perhaps this storm that has created upheaval in so many people's lives is actually creating opportunity for you, all of that, you get to say it's okay to. Okay? And that doesn't mean You don't care. That doesn't mean you're not wanting the best for everyone. That doesn't mean that you're not concerned. It just means that you're having your experience in this moment, and others are having theirs. And all of these experiences are held in this something bigger, something more loving, something more eternal that I call abundance, and you might call universe, source, God, spirit. And in that something bigger, we can trust that there is both pain and joy, that there is death and life. There are a bunch of different individual experiences for us to open ourselves to and give ourselves permission to have. So permission granted, my friend. Blessings on your day. Be well, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, by giving yourself permission to be where you are, to support yourself as you are, and to have your own unique experience throughout all of this.